You're moving a workload and the application can't change its IP address, so you pre-stage the target subnet in NC2 and extend it at layer 2. Now the same prefix is advertised from two places at once. The sign goes one way, the acknowledgement comes back the other, and a stateful firewall drops it. Connectivity fails intermittently and it's brutal to debug. Mark that subnet disconnected and the network controller does one thing. It removes the subnet's local route from the VPC router, then propagates that change through dynamic routing. That's the entire mechanism. The subnet still exists. So do the VMs with their virtual NICs, IP addresses, MAC addresses, and full layer 2 reachability between each other. Nothing is deleted. The subnet type doesn't change. Neither does the IP address range, the IPAM configuration, or the DHCP settings. It's a routing state, not a teardown. Start with what keeps running. VMs in the subnet keep talking to each other over layer 2. Nutanix IPAM still hands out addresses. Subnet extension over VTEP keeps operating, and you can extend two overlay subnets with one or both disconnected. Flow network security policies stay in effect. Disaster recovery covers every supported recovery point objective, synchronous and near synchronous included, and cross-cluster live migration still works. Now what stops? Inter-subnet routing inside the VPC, egress through a NAT external subnet, and through a no-NAT external subnet. A floating IP mapped to a virtual NIC there is preserved but unreachable. A load balancer backend there is treated as unhealthy. On an unmanaged subnet, DHCP relay holds messages until you reconnect. Files and NDB deployed there are unreachable. One naming trap, a subnet state, and a virtual NICs network connection. State are separate settings at separate layers with identical values. So a NIC attaches to a disconnected subnet just fine and still can't route out. A per VPC option called advertised connected subnets is what makes this scale. Disconnecting a subnet needs no BGP. This does. Without a BGP gateway, you can still disconnect the subnet, but nothing withdraws the route upstream, and you're back to touching the network by hand at cutover. Leave it off, which is the default, and the BGP gateway advertises the VPC's full externally routable prefix. Turn it on, and the gateway advertises only the overlay subnets currently in the connected state. Disconnect one, and its route is withdrawn. Reconnect it, and the route comes back. There's no manual step in between, so no stale prefixes linger in the physical network after a switchover. Set the option on a transit VPC, and the same behavior applies to every VPC routing through it, and the per VPC setting stops being exposed. The migration runs like this. Pre-stage the NC2 side, create the target subnets and mark them disconnected before anything moves. Extend the subnet at layer 2, and on-prem stays the only place advertising that route. Move workloads across incrementally, and clients keep reaching them over the existing path. At cutover, disconnect the source and connect the recovery side. One advertised path the whole way, no BGP community surgery, no maintenance window to fall back, reverse it. The same pattern covers three cases. Stage subnet level failover across availability zones, stage switchover during a workload migration, including from a third-party cloud with the original IP addressing preserved, and isolating a subnet for maintenance or troubleshooting. This is what Nutanix disaster recovery couldn't do alone. Recovery plans don't support overlapping subnets in a network mapping, so partial subnet failover means a new subnet and re-IPing the guest VMs. Exactly the re-IP the application can't take. The limits are narrow. Only overlay subnets without external connectivity can be disconnected. VLAN subnets, VLAN basic subnets, overlay external subnets, and overlay external network subnets can't, and neither can, a subnet hosting an attached network gateway VM or one serving as the virtual IP subnet for a load balancer session. The network controller blocks the state change either way. Network function chaining for those VMs isn't supported in this release. And this is not a security boundary. Flow network security policies that reference the subnet keep applying to intra-subnet traffic and to traffic arriving over an extended layer 2 connection. If you want isolation, write a security policy. This ships for NC2 on AWS with broader support in 7.6.1. Configure BGP once, control the cutover from Prism, and never open a change window for it again.